All-Star break, Caitlin Clark sat down with Glamour magazine to discuss injury recovery and mental health musts. It's a good article. I'll leave a link to that article in the description. But during that article, she talked about, her recovery and the demands of playing the game and how she copes with her mental health. She talks to a sports psychologist who the Indiana Fever have on staff, which is a good thing. More teams need to have that. And she also talked about her pregame rituals. She likes to journal, stuff like that, to keep her mental faculties in order. But people are weird. They took this opportunity that for her opening up to say that she's really not coping with the league and Diana Taurasi was right. It was very weird. But also during that weekend, Alyssa Gray of the Atlanta Dream and Jackie Young spoke on similar things. And I wanted to show you what they said, and then I'll come back and we'll chop it up. So let's take a listen to Jackie Young and Alyssa Gray. Alyssa Gray was on the 520 podcast, which is hosted by Jeff Teague. So shout out to Jeff Teague and his guys. They do great work over there. I'll leave a link to the full video with that interview as well. So let's just take a listen.
When did you start getting comfortable in the W,
though? Comfortable? I'll probably say around like I've been in the league 9 years. Probably around like my fourth year. Fourth, fifth year. I felt like the game was starting to come to me and the game was starting to slow down and I could really like visualize the game. Because when I first came in from college, like I'm all at one speed, like go. And I remember assistant coach telling me that like you need to learn how to add a pace to your game. So I think around like year 4 or 5 is when it started to slow down, and then from 6 on to 9.
Yeah, been Christmas for sure. They call you OG in the locker room?
Nah, I ain't that old.
You were drafted number 1, and there's a question about like how do you think the draft placement affects your career? Was there a certain amount of pressure coming in number 1, and how do you think you handled it from year 1 to year 2 and so forth?
Oh, for sure. There was definitely a lot of pressure being the number 1 pick. And I think for me it was different because I left after my junior year. So it wasn't like I knew I was going to be the number 1 pick my whole senior year and like could like prep for that. So yeah, entering the league, it was obviously a big adjustment for me. It took me probably 3 years to kind of figure it out. And so I also had a slower journey than most number 1 picks. And so, just the pressure of the outside world, like expectations and what they think you should accomplish, when you should accomplish it. That was the hardest part for me, but I was able to, just keep my circle small, keep the people around me that matter the most, that have been with me throughout my whole career. That was probably the biggest thing, was trying to figure out how to make it work, and so it took me a few years.
Now, if you listen to what Alyssa Gray said, she's a 9-year vet, and she didn't really get it until her 4th and 5th year. Now keep in mind, folks, I told you the majority of the WNBA to me are basement level players. On my ranking scale, basement is the lowest player. And then you have a studio player, which is a person that might make an all defensive team. They might be a specialist or some type, like a 3-point shooter or a defensive lockdown person, so on and so forth. Then the next level is penthouse. That's where like Sabrina Ionescu, Jonquel Jones is at. And then you have the presidential suite, which is where I have Caitlin Clark, Asia Wilson, Nafisa Collier, those 3 ladies. But with that being said, Alyssa Gray has bounced around the league for a couple of teams. And she, like she said, 4th and 5th year, she finally started to get it. And when she had her breakout with Atlanta, now she's up there, mentioned with the best players in the league. But the thing that really got me, what she said, she had to learn how to play at different speeds. Now, Alyssa Gray's a great player. Killer high school career. Highly touted. Could have went anywhere. Didn't go to South Carolina originally. Went to another school and then transferred to South Carolina. But with that being said, she had to learn how to play the pro game. And how this ties into Caitlin Clark. As great as Caitlin Clark is now, and she's an all-world talent, she still got a lot in the bag that is not even been tapped into yet. When she gets with a better coach and really understands the pro game, she's going to be very difficult. She's already hard to deal with now. She's going to be a monster when she really grasps it. She just showed greatness in year 1, and we were itching for year 2, and year 2's been an injury-filled year 2. Imagine what Caitlin Clark looks like at 26, 27. And she's in that 4th and 5th year. And now she is a master of the pro game. And a triple-double is a regular event. That's what I can see Caitlin Clark doing. So Alyssa Gray was right with that speed and changing the game and knowing tempo, knowing when to slow it down. Those things will come to Caitlin Clark as well, and they will come in an abundance because she's got such a high ceiling and is so talented. The Jackie Young piece was also very insightful, just for the simple fact that Jackie Young and Caitlin Clark are both first overall picks. And Jackie Young said it took her a while to blossom. I think her first year she might have averaged like 6 or 8 points. So like I said, both these ladies were first round picks. Jackie Young was the first overall pick, but Jackie Young, it took her a while to get it. Caitlin Clark is far ahead of most first overall picks. Way ahead. Leaps and bounds. Light years. Which I know it scares most of the players in the league, because I think most of the players in this league do not take playing basketball serious, and they know when Caitlin Clark gets on that court, she will make them look terrible. So they up their level when Caitlin Clark plays, amongst other things that they do. But I just wanted to touch on that too, because these two ladies both had to have a journey, and it didn't come easy in year 1 and year 2. So I didn't understand the people with the she's complaining because she can't hack it in the league. No, that wasn't the case. People are so short-sighted in the society. It's funny when a person opens up, they just kill them. But I'm glad Jackie Young and Alyssa Gray both spoke out on this. But let me know your thoughts on this topic. Leave your comments below, like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, peace.